Hey, if you're coming across this video, you've likely come across Click Alchemy, and for that, I thank you for coming here and trying it out. I appreciate that. So just a real quick bit on the background. I created this as a tool to help me produce content just more quickly so that I can get more comfortable with that myself. And so I've found a lot of value with this tool myself, and so I've decided it would be a good idea to just wrap this up. I have seen other tools out there, so I think this tool has some unique aspects to it, which is why I built it for myself, and then I exposed it so that it could be available for everybody else. So this video right now is just going to be a real quick demo walkthrough of how to use the basic parts of Click Alchemy. A little bit later, I'll have a playlist which you'll be able for Click Alchemy specific things. So I'll continue to add videos there as more features come out and as I describe those features through video content. So let's go ahead and start off. If this is the first time that you've come to Click Alchemy, you won't actually see this information filled out. You'll be starting with a new workspace, and so I'm going to start there. So if I click new workspace, this is essentially what you're going to start off with. The way that I like to name my workspaces, which is something I've just started doing, it's how I name my videos and that. I like to have an idea of what the date is. This particular project name isn't used for anything other than a container so that you know where to come back to. So this would be a good idea to put in information that's relevant to you if you want to be able to find this project for me. I think the easiest way to correlate these from memory is just to put a date associated to it. So I don't even know what today is, the 12th. So I'm going to put in 20, and I like to name them by the year first because from a sorting perspective, I don't have specific sorting features on date, but I might add that in the future. In my typical use case of other content in that, when I name files or folders, I like to use this format just so that it sorts the way that I want to in chronological order even when I'm sorting by name. So and I'm going to call this Click Alchemy Intro. I don't have to capitalize that, but that's what I'm going to do. And then when you tab away, enter, whatever, it's going to then load your workspace. This is going to be your workspace. So the concept is to create an intro video about Click Alchemy IO. And then from here, you can click the improve button. It will use AI based on the description that you provided to give you an improved title concept or concept that would then be used to generate your titles. Personally, I don't use that too much just because the video concept is good enough for what I want most of the time, and then the titles AI is generating based on that concept anyways, and it tends to fill in the details where I need to fill in the details. Since some of this will take a little bit of time, not terribly long, but I'll skip over to the, well, it's already done. So we'll keep going here, but just so I don't forget at this point, what I will normally do is I will create a new face. So I have some faces here. Right now, since I've been using the production instance, I don't have as many instances as I used to have in my developer instance or my developer setup. So I've only used this particular one where I have a picture of myself kind of raising my brows a little bit. I've got this business one, but you can upload these from the persona page as well. But this is basically, I do everything from the workspace for the most part. And so I can just upload a new face from here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick another one that I have. This is another shot that I created. I don't particularly like this shot, but this is the one I'm just for demo purposes here. And then I'll save this to my personas. If I want to reuse it, green, I'm just going to name it green shirt. And then I'm going to save it. And then that will save it to my personas. And then this will also be the face that is selected. So after the title is generated, one thing that I will think about ahead of time is what title style that I want to use. And I didn't mention this. I probably should have mentioned this before I generated the title. But if you want to have type of format. So there are different formats that individuals will use for their titles. And so we have some defaults here. And so this is just going to help the AI prompt these titles so they come out in this type of format. So if you're trying to do videos on Curiosity Gap or a how-to guide, the titles that will be created are in a specific format that fit that type of style for your video. You can change these, or you can not change these ones, but you can add your own. Again, that'll probably be a future video. Otherwise, this particular video will get really long. This particular video will just be mostly over the workspace. So the defaults for the description will be down here, so you can see your template preview. So it's going to tell you like the title pattern, and it just says AI is going to choose because that's what I had. But if I choose Curiosity Gap, it's going to be why some topic is, give your expected outcome and what you can do about it. So that's kind of the format, right? If I change these to other ones like a listicle, it's going to tell you those different things. The comparison, right? Option A versus option B, which is better. And so I generally, for my content that I've been doing, I normally just let AI decide. I've created a default one for my QA trading analysis stuff because I have it auto-filling some of the links and stuff. And so if you look down here at this description, it's going to show what this is: hook, what you'll learn, the key takeaways, your resources, how to connect, like social links in that, disclaimer and hashtags. And so that's similar to how the default will be. So when you first come in, it's going to have the default selected. However, none of the, it's going to give you an area for resources and how to connect, but you'll have to then later go in and change those values. And actually, you know what? I'll just use this one. It probably would make the most sense for this particular demo. And so now that, but for the other ones, you can do tutorial style. And again, you can have your own styles for descriptions so that you can have something similar to what I have with my QA trading analysis stuff. And then it will automatically populate your links, and you'll see how can benefit you here in the future. So your unlock Click Alchemy IO, your secret weapon. I like that. What is Click Alchemy IO? Full intro. This isn't going to be a full intro. This is intro just over the workspace. It's still going to be fairly long. Click IO, transform your circle. Yeah, so I could, if I don't like these, I could click improve, and I can generate more titles. And then they will be appended down here, and you'll have more title options. One of the things that I felt was important for Click Alchemy with a lot of the other tools, they look like just chat windows. And even though the history is there, you have to scroll through and find it. And so you end up paying for this AI generated content that's either hard to find or hard to get back to in history because you just have these huge lists everywhere. And so I will go over the history view quickly. The history view essentially is intended to help with that. So that's why I put everything in a workspace. I'm working on a video project. This video project has my metadata, which is the titles and the descriptions. And then it has all the thumbnails that I generated to it. So that was the point of creating the project name. I can come back to this project name, and I can find all the AI generated content, titles, descriptions, thumbnails, and I can pull those back up, or I could just keep working on it. If I decided, 5 months later, a video actually came back and hit on something, but I'm looking at the analytics or the YouTube analytics and insights, and then I'm starting to get an idea that maybe a different thumbnail would actually cause it to perform better even after a period of time. I could then just pick it up right there, generate some more titles, maybe generate some more thumbnails, or change the description, and then just go in and keep working. So the point is I can easily come back to this workspace and have the AI generated assets that I had before and keep pushing forward with that. And I don't have to try to figure out how I'm going to do that in some long list of, basically like a basic GBT chat window or something like that. And I do download this content. Obviously, you need to upload the content, so I'll download my thumbnails and I'll save those on files. So they're still persisted there, right? I'm not using this as the sole memory store for all that information, but it is there and it'll stay there, and I can come back to it if I want to come back to it. So, all right, so I'm going to click a title. One thing I'll note, all this stuff is intended to be copy and paste, right? So it is possible in the future I might actually use like an OAuth integration where this would just push straight out. I've only seen one tool do that before. It's pretty nice that it can do that. However, for me, it's a bit overkill, and I think for most beginners, it'd be a little bit overkill and kind of black magic stuff, right? So I want to go through the steps of just like copying, pasting. So I've clicked my title. This title is going to be used when generating the description following the style that I've defined. So I'm going to go ahead and click generate description. You don't have to generate the description now. If you want to use something else, you could just go down and generate your thumbnails. However, you do have to have a selected title to be able to generate thumbnails because it's going to generate the thumbnail based on the title that you are using, right? So I'm going to go ahead and generate the description. While that's happening, I'm just going to click here, and then I've already uploaded a video, so I'm also showing the YouTube video upload window here, and so I just copy in my title here. The description is created, and I just want to touch on this real quick. So it says, I don't need to read it here, but you can see it's got what you'll learn. So this follows it. So this is the hook, what you'll learn, key takeaways, tips, resources. And you'll see in here, these like your ClickAlchemy.io website link here. It doesn't actually fill in that information. And that's where later on, you'll want to go to the library, you'll want to use snippets, and you'll want to be able and create your own description. And then that way, even though I know YouTube has a feature that allows you to use previous, use content from your previous videos, you still end up having to do a lot of manual editing in that. And so I don't want to have to do that, right? I don't want to, I forgot to put this link in. And I could understand if you're doing a lot of different sponsorships, if they're regular, you could create multiple snippets for those different sponsorships so that you could just, select from the drop down and use that. However, if you're doing a bunch of one-offs, you might still want to just edit this one-off. But point is, you would copy this here, you would paste it into the description box, and then you're going to come down here, and then you're going to put in your information. Now, after you implement some snippets in that, and I'll have another video later about that, as I mentioned, but it's going to look basically the same as my QA trading analysis here, which isn't exactly right for this particular video concept, but that's okay. I'm just going to say generate description. And then this generate description is going to use the details from the description style. And then you'll see I already have in here, I have my Twitter account. I've got some Discord communities that I'm a part of or that I partner with. And then I also have the resources, which is going to be like all the links to my websites and products and things like that, right? And then it follows the same hook, what you'll learn, key takeaways kind of concept, right? And so this is now very seamless. I just copy this. I'm going to remove this, paste this in here, and I'm done. I don't have to do anything more, right? And so the next piece is creating your thumbnails. And so I almost always start off just creating one at a time. If you want to create multiple of the same style, you can. I think the cinematic one right now tends to be hitting on where a lot of people are. I have some other styles where I saw some people doing some styles that are this market call style. Since I've been doing some trading analysis stuff. Again, this is not related to ClickAlchemy specifically, but that style is there. Right now, you don't have the ability to peg different to use your own style, but that's a new feature that I'll be adding in the future. And then you'll be able to, the same way you can create different descriptions and title styles, you'll also be able to create your own thumbnail style. And then we'll have the defaults in here, but you'll be able to pick your own as well. And then for most YouTube video content or Rumble content, you're going to be using your 16:9 landscape style. I'm just going to do the cinematic one right here, and I'm going to get that started because sometimes the video generation takes a little bit longer. So while I'm talking, that can happen. So you can use different landscapes. I think for social networks, one by one, there's not a lot of area for that, but it's there. I think I might be missing. I think I saw like 4:3 is another one, so I might either swap that out or just add a 4:3 aspect ratio. But if you want to do like TikTok videos or something like that, or YouTube Shorts, you can also create a thumbnail that's going to match that content. And so here we go. We have our thumbnail generated. And so what I will do here is I'm just going to click download. I mentioned this before. It's got on here. It's going to have the a indication of what created it, right? And so let me go ahead and just create one more. These illustrated ones tend to be kind of fun, so I'm going to create one of those so you can see the difference. So it's got a tag on here, so it's going to tell you this was the cinematic version style. It's got the aspect ratio on the bottom right. It's got the number of it, and the reason I did this is because we now want to be able to download this so that we can upload it into YouTube. And one of it's a very minor annoyance, but it's gonna give you a name, like auto create the name to save. And when it does that, if you download multiple ones for like the A/B testing, then you have to change the name manually every time, which is just a very minor annoyance. And so I just click download, and all I have to do here is I click save. You can't see my save window over there because that's not being shared. But then over here, I just click download, and then I just click save. And now I have two files that I'm ready to upload. And they've already been saved. So while some of this is going on, I'm also going to mention the click score analytics, which this goes through. I've seen some other variations of this, and so this has more analytics. Just to give you an idea, different areas of analytics. So 3 major sections that can help you get an idea of if this video is likely, or this thumbnail is likely to perform well. And so I'm going to run my analytics on that one. And while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and upload the thumbnails here. And so I'm going to make that the first one. And I'm doing the A/B test here just so which is normally what I do. And then I'm just we'll leave those as is and go back to the video. So now I have 2 tests here. And then this one shows that the strategic aspect is about 87%, an 80% metric based on the analytics that we run. The technical aspect is the 77%, and then virality is 40%. So I think the virality one, this one is really hard to tune. And so a lot of that is like the originality of it, right? So all that said, you can come in here, and if you want to focus on one specifically, I find the virality scores tend to be pretty low. That could just be for my own content and the titles and the things that I'm using. The strategic analytics tend to come out pretty well. That's just based on the styling prompts. Usually gets it fairly well. And then, yeah, the objective metrics tends to be like how images and things are placed on the screen and how well those are likely to perform. So if you want to get a new image from this, you would, trying to fix all the things at once, you can just click fix all issues. And so there's some detail in here about what the AI believes is going to perform well, or why it's recommended recommended the particular things here. So you can just click fix all issues. And that's going to attempt to fix across the strategic, objective, and soft signals. And so I don't like to do that myself because once it's like 87%, 77%, I found that tends to be pretty good in terms of about how well it's going to be able to get rated. And so the next thing that I'll go to, the one that I most commonly am trying to fix here, is the soft signals. And so you can also just fix one of those. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click that while that's creating it. And so what that's going to do, again, back to the point of you're paying to have this AI content generated, and I want you to be able to keep that and use that and come back to that. So it's not going to change this current image. It's going to create a new image, and you'll have a new thumbnail generation that'll be here. Once you get enough, it's gonna start paginating. So I did that in really when I was just like playing around with all the different styles, and I was testing out like generating multiple images. Obviously, you can burn through your tokens. For most people, I think if you're generating, probably 3 to 5, I could do the math real quick, but if I think you can get like 150 image generations. If you're only generating images, of course, that's not going to be the exact case. That's if you're actually on the current, I have to look at the billing page here. For the creator plan, you're going to get 1,600 credits, so that'd be at 160 images. It's probably going to be closer to like 150, like I was saying, because each one of those is going to cost like 10 tokens, and then you're going to pay some tokens to generate these other things, right? So if you're putting out content even every single day, that's 30 days in a month, and so you can create multiple images for every single day of the month, and you should have plenty on this plan. That was another thing that I was trying to help with, is I thought that some of these tools out there were charging a lot. I was not interested in necessarily trying to make a ton of money with these, but the goal was to just use it myself and give me an excuse to improve this tool for myself, but also try to give something out that's a little bit more affordable for everybody else. Okay, so now that I've created this other image, and I could normally what I would have done if I was going to do this, I already set this test. I think I can undo this test and then upload a new one. I would just upload it when I'm doing that, but I don't need to do that for this purpose. The only thing I want to mention is that you can see that this shows the illustrated style, which is interesting. I'll have to look and see if that's actually a bug, because oh, I know why. It's using the illustrated style, but I was picking an image as a reference image that was not the illustrated image, and so it did actually add some interesting aspects here. So I didn't even think about using it that way, but that's pretty interesting. So you've got this this vial beaker thing here kind of matches a lot of the Quant Alchemy things that I do, which is the company that I run for doing all the websites and everything that I build, and some volunteer work and all that. So it did add some nice, interesting aspects to that. But the other thing that I want to mention is up here, you can see this is fixed. So this means that we ran the click, score, fix options on this particular thumbnail. It doesn't tell you which one was referenced, but I mean, you can kind of look at these and tell. So yeah, that was an interesting use case. So I'm going to go ahead and then go back over here. So once you've done that, you've got all your content. I know it took me a little while to go through that, because I wanted to make sure that I was clearly explaining all this. That's how you use the workspace. Personally, I don't really move away from the workspace. The other place that I'll go to often is the history, because if I'm going back and forth between projects, you'll see a list of your projects. But the very last piece, before I forget, the very last piece that I'll do here, and I'm going to go ahead. I uploaded this video because I did want to go through all the way to the end, so I'm going to click next. For my videos, I'll generally just like put, oh, so something went wrong. I normally just click on this. And then it's already ran the initial text, so I can get past that. And I'm just going to put this as an unlisted video anyways. So unlisted video. And then normally I'll have it as a public video. And actually, you know what? There's no reason I shouldn't make this public anyway. So I'm just going to make this a public video. And then I'm going to click publish. And then once this is published, I have the link here. I'm going to take this link, and then I can put this link up here. And for the link, oh, you know what? That's why I was going to do that, because I was going to upload this video for that video. I'll do that in a second. So that video is public now. And so then now that I have that, I can link it here. And the other thing that I'll do is that I'll then go to my Rumble library. I'll upload the same things, and then I'll add the Rumble link. So just to show you what that'll look like. So if as I mentioned, I've got some stuff in here in history. It says publish because I've associated a link to it. But I can just go ahead and click on the one that I was working on yesterday. I'm going to say continue. So that's going to load it in the workspace. So this is the workspace that I was working on the other day. And you can see here I've got a link that I posted to YouTube, and I also have a link that I posted to Rumble. And so there you go. And so so that's the final piece, and then that will, I think that's an important piece not to forget, because you want to then be able to correlate those two together and correlate your actual video to the workspace that you're creating. And just a heads up, in the future, I will be including some insights in that off of that. So essentially we'll be able to run some, based on the link that you provided, we'll be able to run some analytics and say, hey, how well did that video actually perform? And then we can make some correlations against the, the thumbnail audits and the analytics that are provided through there, and how your thumbnails are actually performing. So I hope everyone is enjoying using this, and I hope it is providing value to you. And we will catch you on the next one. Keep your eyes peeled for the future videos, because I will be doing other videos where I go into a little bit more detail about how to actually use the library and create those individual snippets and descriptions so that you can really personalize this for yourself. So keep an eye out for those, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.